Hey guys, this might be the most important video that I've made so far because I don't think that there's anything more critical to talk about than what I'm about to say. When people, friends and family and colleagues, say that we are doom and gloomers, as a caller said to Steve Quayle during the Coast to Coast show the other night, what people don't understand is the reality of what we face, the financial cataclysmic reality of what we are facing in this nation. Case in point, Secretary Tim Geithner sent a letter to Congress on January 6th, this past Thursday, and he addressed the letter to the Honorable Harry Reid, the Majority Leader of the United States Senate. I'm going to read parts of that letter because it may be the most important letter of the past 10 years. In the letter, Tim Geithner writes, and I quote, "I am writing in response to your request for an estimate by the Treasury Department of when the statutory debt limit will be reached and for a description of the consequences of default by the United States. Never in our history has Congress failed to increase the debt limit when necessary. Failure to raise the limit would precipitate a default by the United States. Even a very short-term or limited default would have catastrophic economic consequences that would last for decades. Failure to increase the limit would be deeply irresponsible," says Geithner. "For these reasons, I am requesting that Congress act to increase the limit early this year, well before the threat of default becomes imminent." Now, what is critical to understand in this letter is that Tim Geithner is saying that when we reach the national debt limit that was just raised not very long ago, but when we reach the debt limit, probably near March, Geithner goes on to warn in his letter that if the debt limit is not raised, quote, "the United States would begin to default on its obligations." Now, with all credit to shtfplan.com, and we all know what SHTF stands for, the Treasury Secretary of the United States of America just said that if we don't get another $1 trillion by March of this year, then the country will begin to default on its debt obligations. And these remarks are extremely dire. And every single person, your friends, your family, your parents, your brothers and sisters, the people you care about need to understand what is happening here. And I guarantee you that if the people in your life are a lot like the people in mine, most of them don't get it. We are literally on the brink of an economic catastrophe. And the scary thing is, according to shtfplan.com, according to Mr. Geithner and the many supporters of raising our debt ceiling, borrowing money is the only solution that remains. Raising the debt ceiling is the only solution that remains. In a recent commentary by Carl Denninger of Market Ticker, he said that raising the debt ceiling would essentially lead to the very same consequences as leaving it where it is. He writes, quote, "Let me be clear. If you extend the debt ceiling, and by doing so allow deficits of this sort to continue for another year, say much less 2 years, you will have placed a loaded shotgun in the mouth of this nation and pulled the trigger." So there you have it. We are out of options as a nation. The Chinese don't want to buy the bonds, and all that remains for us to do is open yet another credit card. Now, the reason I think this may be the most important information that I could possibly share with you is that it is time. It is the last chance that we all may have to protect ourselves. We are literally on the precipice of an economic catastrophe, the likes of which our country has never seen. And it could happen regardless of whether the debt limit gets raised, which will piss off the Chinese and all our creditors, or if it doesn't get raised and the new Republicans want to play hardball. Because it's too late. As John Williams says,
the hard choices should have been made years ago.
And so the easy decision that's left for you and me and the people who know what's going on is to get your butts to a coin show, or get your butt on eBay, or get yourself somewhere where you can buy some physical silver, because I don't know what else to do, and I don't know what else to tell you to do. But I can tell you this, when I was at the coin show on Saturday, had there been 4 other guys in the room like me, they would have been wiped out of silver. There was less than $15,000 in bullion in that room. I counted 4 100-ounce bars. I bought all of the available American Silver Eagles and Canadian Maples, which came to less than $4,000. It was a purchase I'd been planning on doing for the last 3 months, and I got lucky that the price pulled back. But I bought Everything that was in that room that wasn't nailed down, that was a silver eagle or a Canadian maple. And the rest of the coins that were there were some Austrian Philharmonics and some silver rounds and silver bars, and by my estimate there was definitely less than $15,000 in that entire room, including the 4 100-ounce bars. And this is in a metro area coin show of over 2 million people. So those of you that are listening to this message are indeed on the inside track, because it's been my experience going to those coin shows that there's no one else there. There aren't 10 other guys like me there willing to spend $4,000 on silver. Because had there been 10 other guys like me willing to spend that kind of money, we would have been down to numismatic coins, because all the bullion would have been gone after the first couple of guys got there.
Silver eagles or Canadian maples for sale today?
I've got some silver eagles here, but only a couple left.
Really, only a couple left? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're hearing about shortages, if you're hearing about tightness in the silver market, it's not a joke. Okay, this isn't fear-mongering. The fear-mongering is being done by Tim Geithner. The fear-mongering is being done by the Federal Reserve. The fear-mongering is being done by the big elite banks that we gave a bailout to, that are burning this country to the ground and will continue to do so until there's nothing left but ash. I care about our country, and I care about you, because you guys are among the informed people out there that care enough to even research this information. And thank God you're doing it, because your time is running out. And I'm grateful that you have the opportunity to still do some preparation. And I want to say one last thing. For those out there that can't afford to buy silver because it is getting expensive, I completely understand. Okay, I'm not a rich guy. I made some investment choices and I pulled some money out and I bought some physical silver. I'm not a rich guy. And the reason I want to say that is because I know it's getting expensive, and you can do other things. If you can't afford to buy some silver and gold, then go buy a $100 box of nickels at the bank. Go buy a $25 box of pennies, because a $100 box of nickels, okay, each nickel right now has metal content value worth 7 cents. Every single nickel is worth nearly 7 cents in melt value. Every copper, pre-1983 copper penny is worth almost 3 cents in melt value. In a hyperinflationary scenario, the nickels and the pennies will retain value. They will allow you to retain some value, whereas the paper dollars won't. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'm sorry this isn't a more upbeat message, but I just really want everyone to understand that the hour is late, and you don't have to take my word for it. Read the letter that Tim Geithner wrote to Harry Reid. I'll attach a link below. Thanks so much for watching, and may you all have a great week.